All right, so we, the fanatical Tesla owners that we are, shut it! We, the fanatical Tesla owners that we are, went and did a thing. We placed an order, or pre-order, or a reservation, or something. I'm not honestly really sure, but I'll get into it. For a Ford Mustang Mach-E for 2023. So stick with us and we'll tell you all about that experience so far and why we did it.
I don't like this. We're back.
Hello.
Just focus on backing out. The phones are back.
On your face. All right, so we have been looking at the Mach-E for a while now, like probably almost a year. Back since I was first ordering this car. So initially, this wasn't the car that we thought we were going to get either. We had a Model 3 that was on lease, and the lease was ending. So I put a reservation for this Model Y, thinking that it'd be nice to have the extra space and have like a small SUV for the family, since we had grown to 5 humans.
Just tell them to watch the other videos if they want to learn more about it.
Okay, fine. You can watch the other videos if you want to learn more about it. But nobody does that, so that's why I have to explain things again.
Okay, fine.
Plus, there's so many new viewers now. We're gonna catch everybody up.
I'm hungry. Hurry up.
So, we did that, and then partly through, and figured that we could change to a Model 3 order, and partly through all of that, decided we didn't need the Y and wanted to change it to a Model 3 order. Went to do that and found out that I would lose the $250 deposit because it'd effectively be a new order.
So why not buy a whole new car for $60,000?
Yeah. Well, at that time it was only $60,000. Now it'd be like almost 70. So, so I figured, okay, well, I'll hold on to it and I can always, cancel the Y like before it comes in. But then the prices went up so much that I realized I could basically turn it around and flip it and make money off of it that way. So we decided to take delivery of both of them, and you can watch all about those delivery experiences and why we ended up selling the 3 instead of the Y. But long story short, too late. As part of all of that, the other thing that we were looking at was the Mach-E as a potential alternative to the 3 or to this one. But that was just when they closed the 2022 order banks, and we didn't really have that option. So I spent like a couple of weeks going to pretty much every Ford dealership on the East Coast, looking at their inventory and trying to get any information about what they actually have available. And it basically all came down to like, they don't really have anything and they're just using it as a way to get you to contact them and get your contact information. And if they do have anything, they're charging crazy markups on it. So I decided not to do that and to just hold on to the Y for now. But recently they reopened the order banks, and so
For 2023.
For 2023. And so we went ahead and put a $500 refundable deposit down for that. And I have like a customer order confirmation number, but that's about it right now. And so one of the downsides is that the process itself has been pretty non-transparent. There's no way for me to track or know like anything about what I've actually done. The only thing I have is like a invoice that lists the colors and options and stuff. What are you doing?
Sorry. I'm trying to make it not rumble so much.
It's gonna rumble.
Okay, fine. Sorry, rumble.
And so so I have no idea like when I'm going to be expecting the car or anything like that. I guess the next step is at some point I'm going to get like contact from Ford with a VIN, and then I can use like their order tracking to see when it's going to go into production and all of that stuff. But compared to Tesla, it's been much less information. I had to go through a dealership to do it, and it just feels very dated and not forward-looking. So that hasn't been the best experience.
It feels like when we ordered our Mini.
Yeah, I mean, I guess a little bit like that, but like I think the Mini was even a little bit like there was at least ways. I mean, back then we were like crazy about it. I had ways that I could like track the second it was going through the production facility, and we knew like what boat it was on, and we could track that across the ocean, and like we even we could even see from our apartment in into like where the docks and stuff in Jersey City were, so we knew exactly where the car was and stuff. So yeah, I guess it is a little bit like that. But the only good thing is I'm happy that Ford is changing a lot of this. Like they announced that they're keeping their dealership network, but like they're kind of moving a little bit more hybrid, closer to direct to consumer. Where in order to be certified, so like Ford is basically broken up into two main divisions. There's the Blue Oval, which is like the traditional legacy stuff, and then there's Model E, which is all the EV stuff. And in order to be Model E certified, you have to commit to like transparent pricing, and actually they just announced that you now have to install chargers at the dealership, which I think is pretty cool too. But anyway, a bunch of changes around that in order to get it. So that stuff will be great, but it doesn't help us at all right now. So we're kind of just out on a limb right now. I've got $500 that hopefully will turn into a car at some point, and I'm excited for it, but the experience has been a little bit frustrating or just like, I don't know, very, very up in the air, I guess. There's no app or anything like that for tracking like you have with Tesla.
You've had to deal with the human.
Yeah, I don't like having to deal with people is the biggest problem.
Someone asked me to call them the other day. I was like, what? You don't text now?
But the thing I'm excited for most about it is they have a new color. It's Vapor Blue, which is kind of like a light blue. I like the Grabber Blue. That is probably like the Marquee color for it, but I guess rightly so. Someone was not in favor of that, and it's a little bit too flashy for our taste. So we went with the Vapor Blue instead. We are doing a premium extended range all-wheel drive, which I think in the 2023 they actually upped the range estimate for that, very, very moderately, but it's good. And from everything I've seen and read about it, you actually will get that estimate or even more, unlike Tesla, where that estimate is a total like optimistic, non-real world estimate. So even though the Model Y has a estimated range of 320 or something like that, and the Mustang has like 277, I think it is. In reality, like they're almost exactly the same. So I am looking forward to that. So I guess that kind of leads to why we decided to do that when we already have the Tesla. So part of it is I guess he's been a little bit quieter lately, but Elon is a big reason for that. I like the idea of supporting Tesla for the great things that they've done in the EV space, and
wow, just wow, if you all could see this. Just really?
We're just gonna extract ourselves from that situation. I do like what they've done to make EVs attainable and affordable and mass market, and kind of be the kick in the butt for all of the other manufacturers. But more and more, with more competition out there, like they're not the only ones there. I think prices are a little bit high for what you get, especially on the interior. There's something to be said for like the minimalism and stuff, but I've been in nicer cars, and I think there's something to be said for
become
comfort and stuff.
complacent, and that's evident in what you're getting now in the car. Like it doesn't feel innovative anymore because it's been so many years and other companies are doing stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like Ford is, they still have a lot of ground to make up, but they are, like, their trajectory is actually really good. And I think, in some ways, I guess not yet. I can't say like they're outpacing Tesla right now, but like they are showing uniquely amongst all of the manufacturers. Like they're showing that they're actually invested in EVs. The moves that they've made within the company to do that and to build customer trust, I think, are great. They're actually delivering, software updates, and the car is getting better every year. And so like a lot of that promise is actually materializing, I think. And sure, they're taking and stealing a lot of ideas from Tesla, but like they're actually, doing it and doing it at scale, which I think is impressive and I really like. Plus, they're an American manufacturer. Before everybody like jumps on me and starts commenting, oh, the Mustang's made in Mexico. Like, yeah, I get that, but they're moving more and more to the U.S. And especially with the tax incentives and stuff changing, there is huge incentive for them to move not only the final assembly, but also part manufacturing and battery materials and components to the U.S. also, and they've started to make some inroads there. So I like what they're doing there, and I feel like they deserve some support through all of that in a way that you know, it's so hard and like by design that it's difficult to extract Elon from Tesla, but I like a lot of what Tesla does, not so much Elon. When you like see their shareholder meetings and stuff, I think there's a lot of exciting stuff that they're doing, but like I also worry about the distractions that they have with the, oh, we're still doing this. Okay. I just worry about the distractions that they have with, you know, the robo-taxi and the robot and the Cybertruck and semis and everything. Like it, you know, I really would just rather see them invest in the, you know, the range that they got right now, maybe expand that a little bit more, like kind of on the traditional side, but you know, expand their footprint there and like get better at the things that they're doing rather than just going in 1,000 different directions. So that's kind of all what led us to it. I guess I talked about what we ended up ordering. Hopefully we'll get that. So the prices for the 2023 Mach-E went up quite a bit, not that dissimilarly from Tesla. I think on our exact configuration, somewhere between like $5,500 and $7,000 more than it would have been last year. But the range goes up a little bit. You have new color options, and I think a couple of like the interior things are a little bit nicer.
Plus inflation.
Plus inflation.
Whoa.
Yeah. Plus theoretically, there's the tax credit, although there's not a chance we're going to get that. You know, I don't know. All things considered, like I think it's priced competitively, if a little bit on the high side. But I think it compares well to the Model Y. Like they're very similar in pricing, and you know, it's definitely a tier above some of the cheaper options like the ID4, and even like the Hyundai and the Kia too. Although I wouldn't be surprised if they actually increase their prices for the next model year also, because their popularity has been pretty good. Yeah. So what else did I have on there?
You had that the Mustang is iconic.
Oh yeah, I don't know how much to get into this. Like, I'm not one of those, you know, big Ford Mustang people. Like, there's a little bit of that in our family. My dad's always liked Fords. He was always into like the Ford versus Ferrari stuff way back when he was younger. And I think, you know, he owned a few Fords, and I think even when I was a kid we had one. But like, you know, we're not one of those like ride or die Ford families or anything like that. But I think like it is an iconic brand, and even kind of, you know, going back to some of my initial impressions of them, I've never owned a Ford. But like even back, you know, during the initial recession, and well, not initial, but the 2007 one, you know, they were really the only, you know, U.S. manufacturer that didn't really need the bailout and like immediately paid it back, and I think just did a lot of, you know, good things there to structure themselves in a sustainable way. And I've been running the business like pretty well in the meantime, so I respect a lot of that. And
customer parking.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll have to go around.
Yeah. And I just like I like them as a brand, and you know, think that they've been doing good things. Plus, like the Mustang is a cool you know, iconic brand that's been around for so long. Like, you know, from Bullitt to and Steve McQueen and stuff, you know, all the way up to the present. Like, I think it's just a cool brand, and I like that they made the decision to electrify it and make you know, not just like create an entirely new brand or model name or something for it. Anywho, all right, so Mach-E. Yeah, so the other connection that we sort of have to the Mustang brand is as proud Lehigh alumnus.
Alumni.
I'm an alumnus. We are alumni. Yes? Is that how that works? I don't know.
I'm an alum.
No, alum is like abbreviation. Alumnus, I think, is singular, and alumni is
I'm pretty sure he's also turning just FYI.
Anywho, we've got the Lee Iacocca connection, who was, of course, famously instrumental in the creation of the Mustang brand.
The Ford brand.
The Mustang brand, specifically.
Okay.
And so we got that going. And the big question mark, I'd say, and you know, the reason that we probably won't sell this car the second we get the Mach-E is because of the specifically the fast charging, the DC fast charging infrastructure. We haven't really tried out Electrify America or EVgo or like the fast ChargePoint fast chargers, But I mean, compared to Tesla, it's, I think, unfortunately going to be night and day difference. The only hope is that, I mean, first of all, we don't do that much road tripping anyway, so it's not a huge deal for us, but I think we just want to know, you know, especially for a car that we're not leasing and owning, and hopefully for, you know, at minimum a few years, we want to be invested in something where we can road trip if necessary. And so we also have the Rivian coming, and so like this is going to be a good kind of testing of the non-Tesla charging network.
How many drivers are there in our household, and how many vehicles do we plan on owning?
We have 2 drivers.
And
currently have 2 vehicles.
Okay.
So
Okay, just checking.
And the plan is to have 2 vehicles.
Okay.
But we have to decide which 2 vehicles. But yeah, I mean, that's the big unknown for us. We saw our first major, not even major, but we saw our first Electrify America station
In
when
Long,
we were at
Long Island.
Long Island. Out by the superchargers, there's at the same station. You know, they had lots of good charges, but only
just
150s.
lost some followers.
They didn't have any 350s, which actually in the Mach-E doesn't matter, but in the Rivian will matter. So we need to kind of scope that out a little bit. So this is going to be a good excuse to do that. I'm sure once we have the car, we will. Jesus. We will. We'll find an excuse.
It's totally in our lane.
Yeah. We'll find an excuse to road trip and try it out a little bit. So
That
I think
place,
like.
right?
Yeah.
I've been there. They have a rooftop.
Oh.
But the menu, it's okay. Sorry, we digress.
I'm sure we'll find reason to test it out, and we'll find out how it goes, and we'll report and everything. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of that. But it's a big unknown right now. Like we are used to the Tesla supercharging infrastructure. I mean, I think what have we realistically used superchargers? Maybe like 10 times in total.
Yeah, but we did that whole trip to Vermont, and went down the shore, and didn't see any non-Tesla chargers.
Yeah, that was a big one, and we'll have to see. Like I've only looked at the Tesla ones for our trip up into Maine into Acadia, but I should actually look and see like if it would be doable on Electrify America. I'm sure it is, but like it is just probably not as convenient. Really.
And then also like if we go down to visit Nona down in Charleston, I think it's all Tesla along I-95.
Yeah. So I mean, so we'll have to see. Like, hopefully that stuff gets built out a little bit more too. But it's a big risk right now. So I mean, that's part of what is exciting about it too. It does feel like it's a little bit early adoption of those things, but I want to see what it's like and how livable it actually is as a real car. You know, not only day to day, but on these bigger trips and stuff too. So we got that, and then. The other kind of risk we're taking is on the resale of it. So like with the Tesla, it was somewhat risk-free because we knew that like no matter what, we could at least come close to breaking even, and it turned out we timed it pretty well and were able to make a
But you timed it with price hikes.
Yeah. So that's,
and demand.
Demand is still the case, but price hikes are less likely with the Mach-E. So. And especially since it's a new model year and like they've made changes and stuff, I have no idea what the resale on it's going to be. The 2021s and 2022s held up well, and actually saw resale values higher than the initial price. So that's a good sign for it. But like you don't know, especially with the price increase on like the from Ford itself, how that's going to be with the Mach-E. So a little bit worried about that, but we've got some time to see still.
I think what you'll end up doing is I think there's still going to be a margin on it. I think it's going to be a much smaller, like you'd have to take a smaller margin, and you'd have, for a private sale or whatever, you'd have to sell under what the dealerships are charging. Like dealerships are going to have the highest markup, and then in order to get interest in yours, it's going to have to be slightly below.
Yeah, but that should still be higher than like what we paid.
And we also don't know how many cars there. Like we don't know has the order window closed?
No, it's just opening.
Okay, so if the order window is just opening, right, you also don't know how many people are going to walk away from that not having placed an order.
Yeah.
Because they were like, oh, it just opened, let me wait a week or whatever. Like, is the window going to close after a week? Is it going to close after 3 months or whatever? Because Ford's manufacturing capacities aren't up there either.
Yeah, they're ramping them up and it's getting a lot better this year.
Yeah, but not for 2023.
Yeah.
So we're still talking a long lead time before the manufacturers can actually keep up with the full demand. So you still have at least a couple of years of I'm gonna call price gouging, so to say, from dealers.
Yeah.
And let's face it, the dealer himself might not want us to take the delivery of the car because he'll make a margin on it, and be like, hey, let us test drive it for 30 days and see if we actually want to keep it.
Yeah, exactly. And we have no idea when it's going to come anyway. Like, we should be pretty early in that window. Like, I had it ready to go the day the order banks opened, but they were a little bit slow, like confirming all the details and stuff. So I think we're maybe a week or so into it. It should still be like pretty early, but I can't imagine we're going to get the car before like end of the year maybe.
Why are you stopping?
No, I just don't trust people around us.
Okay.
So anyway, so we've got time to figure that out. We've got time to see like how resale's doing. We've got time to see how everything, like, the plan isn't just to immediately resell it anyway. It's to get the car, see how we like it, see how it holds up compared to the like basically the question is, do we keep it or this car? And so charging is going to be the big thing. Just day-to-day use, software, space, all of that. So we'll figure it all out.
Or do we get rid of my Buick?
Yeah, I mean we have the
Rivian.
We have the Rivian on order. There's been no real updates on that yet, but I've reconfigured it to optimize the delivery time. I mean, like, we changed the color and the interior color and the battery pack and stuff to make sure like it's the one that they're delivering now. So we shouldn't be years and years away at this point. Like, we're probably not going to be next month or anything like that, but I'm hoping it's not too much longer.
Yeah, but I want to get it when it's still like, I want to get it like when we first got a Tesla.
Yeah, when it's
like
cool.
like it's cool.
Yeah.
That sounds like so basic, but like
we're hipsters.
I want to be like, I want to feel like I'm on the cutting edge of technology, like we used to be with cell phones, like when the iPhone first came out. Versus like, oh, I guess I have to get this because
I think
it's
you
the
mean
only
when the
car.
Motorola Droid came out. That's how cool I was.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. But I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, I don't want to get it when they're everywhere and it's boring. I mean, we won't be like we still got it
We're
early
so
enough.
Ridiculous. That's what happens when you have 3 kids and that's your only outlet.
So I mean, so exactly. So we've got that coming, and that's going to change things for us too. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely like, I don't regret anything. Like, I'm very excited for it, and I'm very optimistic about it. I think it absolutely can be the car that we decide to keep and replace the Tesla with. It should really primarily comes down to like the charging is definitely the biggest thing.
My parents' brains are just going to explode when they see that we have yet another new car.
Oh, what? So our neighbors thought we had
4 cars.
4 or 6 different Teslas. They thought Adam thought our neighbors thought we had multiple Model Ys because of the roof racks and the wheels. They thought that it was different cars. So I guess we're doing something right or wrong. I don't know. But yeah. So they've got a Model Y on order also.
That's why he's selling his, because he thinks you're making like
I'm
making it raid.
Yeah. So I'll have to talk to him more about their experience and stuff. He's not quite there yet. So
you should have him on this because
definitely.
Wow.
I
don't want him knowing that we have a YouTube channel.
I know.
Car stopping.
So we'll see with all of that. But yeah, I mean, it's an exciting time right now. Like, more and more EVs coming out. Like, it's actually it's getting, I guess, not getting any easier. It's getting harder to get them. But at least there's more competition now, and I'm excited that like, I think we're at an inflection point where Tesla's not the only like, kind of obvious solution for a lot of people. Like, I think the Mach-E is going to be pretty compelling, and I'm excited to spend some real time with it and hopefully make it a real family car. So we'll see what actually happens with it. I'll keep everybody posted on that, but hope it was helpful to hear a little bit about our thought process on all of it, how we made the decision, and what we're doing with it. And if you want to see what ends up happening, make sure to subscribe. Comment below if you're also anxiously awaiting a Mach-E, or if you've got one and you have any opinions or tips.
And you're in the northern New Jersey area and you want us to test drive it.
Absolutely, definitely do that. Send me a comment, email.
Is it a DM on YouTube? How does it work?
No, but my email's on the channel. Let me know. We would love to take a look at one. I mean, we've been creepy and like peered into a bunch that we've seen, but we've never actually been in one. So I'm excited for that. I forgot to mention, like, honestly, this is so stupid, but a big thing for me is having CarPlay. I cannot wait to have CarPlay in a car again. I know, like, the utility of it is not going to be the same as it is, like, in our Buick where we have it, because it's a little bit harder to use with maps because it doesn't know about the state of charge in the car, and it can't do, like, the kind of charger routing. But like just having music playback and stuff is a huge deal. I cannot wait to have that, and to have wireless CarPlay and not have to like plug it in and stuff is great. Yeah. So anyway, you know, a lot more to come on there.
Wireless CarPlay?
Wireless CarPlay. Yeah.
Ooh, that's crazy.
Although I've heard that's pretty
I think we're still gonna want to plug it
unstable,
in.
so we'll see.
Yep.
Reviews on that to come too. So you don't want to miss any of that. Subscribe and
Like
and comment.
and hit
thanks.
that bell.
Hit the bell. Yep. What else you got?
Nothing.
Yeah. And with that, thanks so much for watching. We will catch you in the next one.
Bye.
Thanks.